indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Welcome all to the December meeting of Clinton County Council. We have a brief agenda today, so mostly administrative matters, so hopefully we can get you all in and out of here in a timely manner. We'll begin with our approval of meeting minutes. We have two sets of minutes, one from the executive session of September 24th. Is that right? Did we just miss a set earlier? Okay. And regular meeting minutes from last November's, November 12th meeting. So
I've looked over both of those. I don't know if you want one full, just.
if there's nothing special to note, I don't mind taking them together.
We'd approve both.
Okay. I have a motion by Jeff to approve those meeting minutes. I have a second by Joe. Any questions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 6-0 with Todd abstaining.
Yes.
Okay. Todd missed last month.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did too.
That was, yeah. This is September. They did.
Oh, yeah, so
We did them together. We did both in one motion. So
And I was not here last.
did you vote or I thought your hand was up.
It was for the.
September.
Well, we did one, a vote, you voted for both of them on this
Okay.
one, so.
Sounds good.
Okay, next up, community corrections. Brett Barton with our monthly update.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Short and sweet, don't have a lot to report. We've got 87 on this morning. We have 2 on our CTP program. We have 2 juveniles and 1 on pretrial release. And we're coordinating a conference call with Envoy next week to kind of find out the direction we can go with that building. So don't really have any update on that at this time.
Still.
If anybody wants to be in on that conference call, let me know or let Jordan know. I think we can arrange that. So
Is that taking longer than you expected or?
they said 30 days, so
Did they?
I think
Okay,
we're right on
okay.
pace, yeah.
Okay,
And when is the conference call?
There's 3 dates in the air right now. I should probably have that wrapped up by the end of the week.
Would you send them to me?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any questions at all?
anxious to hear.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
thanks, Brett. And then Nancy with our probation update. Good morning.
I didn't have any new detention costs for last month. I didn't have a report because I was out of town last week.
I sent them a 0
Okay,
report.
thank you. Sadly, I came back.
Okay, short and sweet there as well. That gets us to our new business portion, and first up on that new business agenda is the recorder's affidavit for the perpetuation fund. Beth Keeney.
All right, good morning. Beth
Good morning,
Keeney,
Beth.
Recorder of Clinton County for the last council meeting of the year, for me anyway, as recorder. So, yes, here's our affidavit stating that we're allowing a couple of salaries to be paid from our Recorder's Perpetuation Fund.
Yeah, just as a word of explanation for those that may be watching online, this fund is unique in county government funding, and is in that it does require 2 keys to turn to make it official. One, the council approves the budget. Second, the recorder signs off on the use of those perpetuation funds to officially put the funding in place. So I don't think we need to take any action on that, Britt, if I remember correctly. It's just acknowledging receipt from the recorder of the receipt of the affidavit. So Beth, thank you for that. Thank you for your many years of service.
Oh.
And I know it's getting handed over into good hands, and
Yes.
you'll be there for as to continue to be a resource, but we appreciate your leadership.
Thank you. Also, we'll have an ordinance to go along with this. Tom's got that ready for
Okay.
us for the new year.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is the proposed council meeting schedule for 2025. Highlights, I guess, would be that we continue the somewhat amended budget schedule that we implemented for this year, where we have 2 budget meetings in the month of September versus the previous one in August, one in September. So you'll see we would meet after our regular meeting on September 9th and then convene again a couple of weeks later on September 23rd. I would like to ask the council's indulgence on the February meeting to see whether there is an openness and a willingness to move that date to Wednesday. I have a conflict that day, and I don't want to I guess, make you all change your schedule for my benefit, but if it was not an imposition on anybody and we could move that to Wednesday, I would like to try to be here if possible. I'll be out of town that day,
So it'd be the,
the 12th. Yes.
should be fine for, it's fine for me.
Yeah, I'm good.
Is that
Fine
work
for me.
on this side of the table? Would that,
I'm fine. I'm fine.
So it'll be Wednesday, the 13th?
the 12th, Wednesday, the 12th.
Oh, Wednesday, the 12th, okay.
In February.
February.
Did
me
you
see
catch
if
that down there?
Let me see if the room's available.
Okay. If that doesn't work out, that's okay. I just thought it was worth asking.
It is.
While we wait, are you messaging next door?
yes.
Okay, while we wait for an answer on the room availability for that next day, we'll move on and look at the 2025 board appointments. This year, it's mostly just member appointments of the council itself. Redevelopment Commission, I guess that does exceed the council. It's Alan Dunn, Jim Need, Mark Hodges. Wildcat Solid Waste District is Jeff, who's okay with continuing. Alcoholic Beverage Board, Myron Cheesem. I think Myron has been our representative for as long as I've been on the council, and we'll continue to reappoint him until he declines. Board of Zoning Appeals and Area Plan Commission, Andy Bailey on both of those as council appointments, and then Jeff as the council member
Yes.
on the Area Plan Commission. It's,
Okay.
yeah.
The
yeah.
year, okay.
For Peterborough Property Tax Board of Appeals, Nick Bales is the council appointment. Americans with Disability Act Board, Joe Mink is our council appointment. Did I miss one? I thought I missed one. I guess I didn't. So that is your slate of appointments. You were not up for reappointment yet, so I guess you're continue on and for another year. That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, so we're good to go there.
Okay.
So, with that being said, I would entertain a motion to move forward and approve that slate of appointees for the 2025 calendar year.
So moved.
I have a motion by Todd,
Second.
second by Mike to move that forward with that slate of appointees. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 7-0 to put those members in place.
February 12th is open.
Okay. So with that one amendment, let's move back to the council meeting schedule. It would be our traditional second Tuesday with the exception of February, which would move to Wednesday. Do I have a motion to approve that as the 2025 meeting schedule?
So
Mary-
moved.
Mary had her hand up. I'll take that as the motion, and Carol with the second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 7-0, and we will get that distributed and posted. Okay, additional appropriations, old business. We have a few, and we also have a few transfers that we'll need to address. If you'll bear with me. Help keep me on track here, make sure I don't miss any pages. Recorder's Office, Elected Officials Training Fund. We do, as we just mentioned a moment ago, we'll have a new recorder beginning in January, and we are going to appropriate some money from the Elected Officials Training Fund so that our recorder-elect, Kaylee Mitchell, can go to the newly elected officer training, but that AIC puts on, $600. We have a couple more Trex collections for community corrections, totaling $971.09. That program continues to pay dividends, so we'll put that into the project income cash balance for Brett. Inmate medical at the sheriff's department in the jail budget, $5,400. We're appropriating for some prescription drugs that have a contract exclusion from our current coverage. Wildcat to Solid Waste District, $32,173.97. This represents the payroll. Britt, is this, what particular length of time is this? Is this a monthly or?
quarter.
Quarterly payroll. As you may remember from previous discussions, payroll for solid waste runs through the county, and then we get reimbursed for those expenses. From probation, we have a renewal of the Justice Response Grant, and we have an appropriation for $1,000 for office supplies, $6,000 in incentives, $15,013 in contractual services, $500 in mileage, for a total of $22,513 from that grant. Auditor's office puts through, really on behalf of the commissioners, $293,126. This is for the fairground improvements that we spoke about a couple of months ago. I believe it was in October. This represents the remaining balance, the uncommitted balance of our ARPA funds. We did have a statutory requirement to have those funds obligated by the end of this year, so we're going to just make it under the wire to get those done officially. And the commissioners then have also amended the ordinance so that those funds have been officially appropriated and are available for use. Community crossings, we receive money when we get awarded a grant, and then we have to appropriate it out for its actual use and expenditure. And so this month, from the community crossings funds that we've been awarded by the state, we are appropriating $798,159.67 so that those can be paid out to vendors. Public Defender Board, $22,000. This is the Public Defender Board. I know that can all get confusing. This is the reimbursement that we receive from the state of Indiana for pauper attorney services that we can get reimbursed at a rate of 60 cents on the dollar. That money comes back to us, gets put into the Public Defender Board fund, and now the courts are asking for us to spend $22,000 of that fund balance. And that is your slate of additional appropriations for this month. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
A motion by Jeff to approve that slate of
Second.
appropriations, a second by Mike. Any questions on any of those before we move forward? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor raise your right hand. That motion carries 7-0. We also have a handful of transfers to approve as we approach the end of the year and we shuffle some money around. In Circuit Court, $13.12 from overtime to law books. Circuit Court, a few different positions, $98.13, $98.13, $5,646.95, and $7,500 going to pauper attorney, moving from court reporter, and overtime respectively. Highway Department, $130 from overtime to extra help. Statewide 911, two transfers, $7,000 and $2,000, both from PERF, the PERF line item, the first to overtime, the second to part-time. Reassessment fund, $400 from mileage to the Social Security line item. And lastly, Central Dispatch, $6,165 from the dispatcher's line item to the frontline public safety item, which is a new program that Renee has purchased. It's a training tracker, quality assurance evaluation, and daily reporting software tracker. Okay, so that's our slate of transfers. We'll need a motion to approve those.
So moved.
I think I have Todd with the motion, Carol with the second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 7-0 on that. You received in your packet last Friday the financial and budget status reports, which show our fund balances and line item balances, but departmental budget balances as of the end of November. We always take a vote to acknowledge that Britt has provided that for us and that we've had the opportunity to review, so I entertain such a motion.
They've been reviewed. I make a motion.
Have a motion by Jeff, second by Mary, that those reports have been received. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 7-0. That brings us to council reports. Does any member of the council have anything they'd like to report on? I will report that we did receive our 1782 notices from the state. We've talked about that as being kind of the final sign-off on the budget adoption process. All of our budgets with tax rates associated with them, be that property or income tax rates, were approved as presented, no changes, so that was great news. I would further share the good news that when those were tabulated and the assessed value, the official assessed value was added into the equation, tax rates for the county total tax rate for 2025 will be down 10% versus 2024. So I'm happy to report that a rate going down from 66 cents per hundred to 60 cents per hundred. So we made some really steady, good progress there. We talked a little bit about, we submitted all of our budgets. We did not get any official review or position from DLGF back on non-tax dollar funded budgets, which would include the federal inmate fund budget, and I want to talk with the sheriff about that when we get to department head reports, if assuming the sheriff's going to have a report as we typically do. So we'll want to maybe take a little time to discuss that. But as far as the taxpayer funded budgets, all very good news. So I wanted to share that.
I'll just share that I'll be going to the AIC training
Okay,
on Thursday, so.
great. Have fun.
Yes.
I don't believe we have a commissioner in the room today to have a commissioner report, so we will move ahead on that and move to department head reports. Any department heads need time with council today as we move towards the end of the year.
We'll start there.
Okay. Good morning.
All good news.
Good.
All good news. We are going to close the year. I don't know if we'll get the person sworn in and hired, but we do have a merit deputy that we'll be hiring. He's one of our local folks here. And as far as budgets and concerns and things like that, we walk into the next year without really truly any budget concerns. And I know what's on the looming, it's been on the horizon, and I'll let Ashley talk about federal inmate fund. And it's been a challenge this year to negotiate an agreement with the feds for the fact that they had replacement of some folks in the last 4 months. So that created an extension of the negotiations and the kind of back and forth, and I'll let Ashley talk about that. So a lot of hours was placed by Ashley in the position of having to negotiate and back and forth with Washington, D.C. So I'll let her and give her the podium. And as far as if you have any questions or anything like that, and always the doors are open for to come in and to leave at the sheriff's office. So come visit with us and take a look. We have one kind of a small project to do, and we've got the money in our maintenance budget for this year, and we've talked with the commissioners, and it's changing the scramble pads that are on the doors. And if you've ever been to the sheriff's office, you'll see that there's scramble pads, and Sheriff Hensley, Councilman Hensley, can attest to the fact that they've been a headache probably since 1994. And so we're going to try and replace those out with the key fob style and get those doors, get that equipment replaced. So pretty minimal cost. So we're going to move forward with that project. And that's really about it until we see what, I guess 25 and 26 look like, and we'll decide then. So,
Sure,
and if
I
you
have a
want to
question.
build a new jail, go ahead.
I just have a quick question and comment. Your warming station, has it been used?
Yes. I couldn't tell you the numbers of how many have been in there, but we've had a couple people in there that come in and use it. And, and it's one of those things where we're open, our meals are very reasonable, and we try and get those folks, someplace to go in that middle of the night when the temperatures are down. And I know as a community that we do have people that kind of linger around the communities and go from garage to couch to, the next place. And, so I think it's something that we need to address. And I think as a community in a whole, not just, Frankfort City, not just, here in this area, we've got people all over the community that, kind of lose that heat or something like that over the course of not being able to pay bills. And I think it's something important that we do need to address as a community, not just as a sheriff's office, but when our lobby's open and we have people there and it's monitored 24/7 regardless, for somebody to come in, warm up for a few hours when it's, 16, 17 degrees outside, I think it's the least that we can do as a community.
I appreciate that. Thank you
And
for doing
I
that.
wish we had more space, so we'll go back to if you guys want to build it, we'll gladly make sure it happens. So, that new facility we need. So I'll let Ashley answer some questions and give you the brief on the federal inmate program. I'm looking forward to them moving forward.
So currently, our rates for the per diem is $68 a day. The transport per diem is $27 per hour, and then we're on the federal mileage rate, which is at 67 cents. As far as I know, the 67 cents remains for the mileage. That they usually alter that at the first of the year, but I've not gotten any update on that. With the change of the guard in January, that could change because we saw an increase in numbers under the 45th instead of the 46th. So what we landed at is during negotiations, the federal government came back to me at 81. I got them up to 84, and then I held firm, kind of walked away, and then they came back and accepted my counter. So what we landed at is $90 per day per diem, and then transport is $35 an hour,
Effective January 1st?
February 1st,
February 1st.
providing it is signed, yes.
Good job.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It was a process.
Tell me the transport.
It is $35 an hour.
Okay.
Now, that rate exceeds by $4 in high change, nearly $5 on our highest paid deputies. So I know the sheriff, for example, does transports at times when needed, but the majority of the people involved in transport, that far exceeds their hourly, so I was pretty pleased with that. I had them at $42.50, but since they bumped the per diem, they took my transport, so I thought the per diem was more important, so I remained quiet on that issue. So $90 a day, I was pretty pleased with that. It will increase significantly on the numbers that I ran.
Tell us about your census. I've seen the income has come down. Is your census coming down for a specific reason, or?
I mean, when, yeah, honestly, it's the presidential,
Oh, I see.
yeah, so when we get a change of the guard, our numbers were very high under President Trump,
Right.
and they have fallen under President Biden. They don't, they're not working the same type of cases. They're not incarcerating individuals at the same rate as they did under a different administration. So I look for that to change significantly in the early months of '25.
Okay, thank you.
That is my assumption.
Well, that's
good insight.
That's great news, and that's exactly what I hope to hear. I did look at the.
I can tell you we have open beds, so we're happy to do. We have been transporting more new arrests in for them. So we'll see. I do think it will increase given the new president's administration goals. So we'll see how it goes.
I did look in our, we mentioned the budget status report, and I did look in looking that over, we look through the end of November to be at a balanced budget to slightly surplus budget, so that all looks really good for 2024, primarily because we deferred on some of those car purchases that helped all that line up. So with this news, it feels very encouraging.
It's been a few months since I've ran the numbers, but from what I recall, when I ran the numbers in like '23, the new per diem would have increased that by at least $500,000
Right.
on
That'd be about
per
right.
diem alone, and that's not including transport. And now we're back in session in person with the courts, so we do more transport than Zoom. And so on Zoom, we would only be paid for one officer's time. On transports, you get paid for two officers. So it'll have a significant increase.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great work. Thank you.
Sheriff, anything else?
Oh, I got a wish list, but I'll send that to you. But we, with the holding off on vehicles, things like that, we are going to have to play catch up to a certain extent on some of the things, and truly our transport and our jail division has got to the point where some of our vehicles are down. So that'll probably be the struggle. And I was going to check with community corrections and see if we can reach into there and some of the misdemeanor funds. So, we'll probably get started into some of that in January. So,
I know at various points we talked about different quotes or getting quotes for different repairs of the facility, but I'm not sure that any quotes ever made it back to this.
we're kind of at a standstill on. I mean, we're just kind of holding ground right now on some of the. We don't really have any big projects that we're looking towards other than some of the electrical, and we had plumbing and electrical done, and but it is, I've had 0 companies reach back out after those initials.
Okay.
And we're talking substantial. I mean, these are huge bills that would be.
Well, and I'm aware of that,
Maintenance.
and I guess, again, referring to the budget report, there's some good cash balances in the jail corrections lit, I mentally have been kind of holding those back to
Sure,
deal with some of
absolutely.
those
And we'll get
projects.
back on that,
Yeah.
but we had a lot of companies that would just, they were giving us labor, but they weren't even giving us
Okay.
a cost on material.
Okay.
We're talking miles of wire and plumbing and conduit. So, it's something that I think would be, the decision has to be made, is it worthwhile to head into that with a building that's over 30 years old, or to start contemplating, the design or the construction of a new building, and we have most of that already. It's just, and that's way beyond my, so I'm here for the ride. We'll get back on top of the quotes for the plumbing and electric, but I think once we look at that, I think we'll probably be in the couple million
Yeah,
for those repairs or those upgrades.
okay, thank you.
And like anything, I'll get back to you with those, and they were kind of dead in the water about October, and I didn't have more companies reach out, and I think it was truly only one that kind of gave us a ballpark, and it was just a ballpark. They wouldn't commit to a total cost.
The boilers are working though.
Boilers are working fine, everything, refrigeration-wise, we're in good shape. All of the glass has been replaced, it needs replaced. We have a little bit of surplus on the glass on the purchase, so we can, make repairs if needed. But
Okay.
as far as, going into 25, we're looking pretty good
All right,
as
all
far
right,
as, equipment, things like that.
all right, thank you.
All right,
Appreciate that update. Anybody else? Department head need time with the council? I think everybody's in the holiday slow down
That's right.
state of mind. So, okay, anybody in general need any time before the council? Todd, you were right on your time estimate.
Sweet. I got something right today, Alan.
All right, if no one else has anything, I'll declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, yes.
Headed to Vegas Thursday.
Hey, hey.